Hi everyone. Today I'm going to share with you 6 greens that you should plant now in September so you can get a harvest in before the winter. Now these are all cool weather greens that thrive in the cooler fall months of under 75-degree temperatures. You can grow them all in containers, that's the beauty of it, or in raised beds, and you have a couple of different options when you're starting these greens. They're all super easy to grow. If it's too hot where you live right now, that would be over 80 degrees. You can start them from seed indoors, or if it's under 75 degrees, you can start them from seed in little containers right out here on your deck or patio, and then when your garden beds empty out, you can transplant them into your garden beds. So the first greens that are really lovely for fall are pak choi and mustard greens. And these are two of my very favorites. The pak choi is super pretty. It's kind of a vase, has a vase-shaped stem once it is fully grown. And this is the rosy red pak choi, really beautiful, bright red strawberry leaves. And has kind of a zippy flavor, but it's super delicious, just eaten in salads, or you can saute it and put it under fish or chicken. Mustard greens are also one of my favorite. What a delicious green. Kind of a little bit of a zippy flavor, so add a really nice flavor to your salads. These are also one of my favorites. It's a Scarlet Frills mustard green, and you can see here the edges of the leaves have kind of a red tinge. And the cool thing about this green is when it gets cooler, the leaves turn more of a reddish color, but there's so many beautiful varieties of mustard greens you can grow. And these both are actually in my September Grow Your Groceries with Callie Kim subscription box. The theme for that is Fun Fall Greens, and these make an absolutely beautiful salad. Now, the cool thing is they're growing here in a 5-gallon Smart Pots. So if you don't have a lot of space in your garden or want to cut back on what you're growing for the winter time, you can just pop a container right out here on your patio and even bring it indoors when the weather gets cold. But they will take a light frost, so they'll last through the first few months of winter if you live in a cold winter area. So let's head down to the lower garden and I'll show you some of the other greens I have planted down there. If it's 75 degrees or under and you've got space in your garden beds, you can plant seeds directly in your garden beds. They sprout quickly, they're quick to harvest in about 4 weeks, and you'll be harvesting them before the cold weather sets in. But if it's still hot where you live, like it is here in Southern California, a little strategy you can do is get your greens planted and then cover them with some shade cloth to protect them on days over 80. Now the cool thing about these greens is if you bought them at the grocery store, number one, you probably wouldn't even be able to find them in most grocery stores. Number two, if you can find them, they're very, very expensive. So why not plant them for pennies, grow your own gourmet organic salad bar. So we've got green number 1 and green number 2, rosy pak choi and Scarlet Frills mustard greens right here in the garden bed. Green number 3 you should grow in September is kale, the quintessential power green. Here I've got some kale growing, several different varieties here. And the cool thing about kale is not only is it super, super cold hardy, will take a pretty good freeze, but it's also very heat tolerant. No need to cover with shade cloth. So many different varieties of kale you can grow here. One of my favorite things about kale is you can harvest it several times. We've been harvesting this one for months and it's already growing back. So you really get a lot of bang for your buck out of kale. Green number 4 is endive, one of my all-time favorite specialty greens. I've got a whole little shorty full of endive planted right here. It's so beautiful. It's nice and curly. And it has a mildly kind of zippy, bitter type flavor, but also kind of a nutty flavor. So it really makes some delicious salads. It again is a super, super hardy green. I've had this planted in here since last spring. We've had multiple harvests off of it, and it still tastes absolutely delicious. Now, typically endive is eaten raw in salads, but you can also saute it and use it with your fish or chicken, or even in scrambled eggs. It's just an absolutely delicious green. You can get endive along with kale in my specialty green seed collection. Lots of delicious greens in here. Today is the last day of the end of summer sale over at calliekimgardenhome.com. 50% off all my seed collections with the code end of summer. So stock up. It's a really great deal. Now endive is another one of those delicious power greens. Very low in calories, but high in vitamins and protein. So you really can't go wrong. And one thing I love about endive is that it keeps for a long time in the refrigerator, especially when you wrap it in paper towels to absorb any moisture. It can keep for up to a week, which is really, really nice. Very easy to harvest. It's called a cut and come again green as well, which all of these greens we're talking about today are. You simply pinch off some of the outer leaves, And then it will continue to grow. You don't want to cut the whole entire head off. Just pinch off the outer leaves. It will continue to grow. New greens will grow back in its place in about a week or so. So it's the green that keeps on giving. Isn't that beautiful? Another strategy, if you still have warm weather where you live, is to plant these cool weather greens in the shade of other vegetables. Here I've got green number 5, which is arugula, growing under this trellis and shaded by the cucumbers. So it'll help keep them cooler until the weather actually gets cooler. So here we've got some arugula growing down here, and arugula has a slightly zippy, again, kind of a nutty flavor. Very, very easy to grow and grows really fast in about 3 weeks from seed to harvest. Now this is one of my favorite varieties. It's called Runaway Arugula, also in my September Grow Your Groceries subscription box. It's called Runaway because of how fast it grows, about 3 weeks from seed to harvest. The cool thing I love about Runaway is it's very bolt resistant, and bolting happens to most of these greens when the weather gets over 80 degrees. But arugula doesn't bolt, which is wonderful because bolting changes the flavor. So that way you get much more harvest out of your arugula. Green number 6 is lettuce. Who doesn't love a beautiful, crisp, crunchy lettuce salad in the cooler months? Here we have a beautiful lettuce mix called All-Star Gourmet Lettuce. Now I absolutely love this mix because it's nice and frilly leaves. I mean, look how beautiful those leaves are, but it's also got some colors in here. Reds, different shades of green. So it really makes your salad beautiful, gives it lots of texture and lots of different flavor. Now lettuce goes from seed to harvest in cooler temperatures in about 4 to 6 weeks. So get some seeds planted now so you can get the lettuce growing, get your harvest in, and it will take light frost, the first light frost of the winter. Doesn't really take a hard freeze very well, but you can cover it with a frost blanket to extend the life of your lettuce even longer. Now what I want you to do is plant seeds now for these 6 delicious greens. That way, in about 4 to 6 weeks, you'll have beautiful, delicious, organic, colorful salads to eat. Before the cold weather hits in, the roots will be good and established in the ground, so they'll take the first few light frosts of the winter, and the cold hardy ones will last you even throughout some of the winter months. Head over to CallieKimGardeningHome.com. Grab your subscription box for September. The theme is Fun Fall Greens. So some of these are in this box. In this box too, you also get a free bonus of the Vermistera Worm Tea to really supercharge your greens growth. You can get this box for $9 off with the code Fun Fall Greens. And remember, today is also the last day of the 50% off seed collection sale with the code End of Summer. Let me know in the comments below which one of these greens is your favorite and which ones you're going to be planting this week. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.